Hey guys, this is Sunny Dove and welcome to my pro guide to Cheston. If you aren't familiar with Super Monday Night Combat, you'll want to start by clicking the screen to watch the Super MNC Super Crossfire Overview by Uber Entertainment. Cheston is categorized as an enforcer, meaning he has high health and high close range damage. He's a strong, self-reliant pro with his lethal combination of speed and damage. He deals slightly less damage per second than a gunner, but has greater mobility and doesn't suffer from spin-up times or long reloads. Cheston's role is to spearhead your team's offense, dealing as much damage as possible before using his mobility tools to escape.
They shall float in blood.
The Tommy gun is a fully automatic machine gun with a 100-shot magazine and high damage output. Its accuracy is reduced the longer you continuously fire it. So, in order to land as many bullets as possible, you'll want to burst fire most of the time. There isn't a magic number of shots before you let the accuracy recover, just pause firing when it gets bigger than your targets. The Tommy gun's alternate fire throws a banana that drops to the ground. Any pro that comes into contact with the banana will slip and be stunned for half a second. It's very important to note that you can throw your banana directly at pros to break grapples and knock assault out of flight. The cooldown on your banana is very brief, so be sure to use it liberally to annoy your opponents. The family jewel is a scepter with a jewel on top of it. I fondly refer to it as the beat stick. It's a melee weapon that does reasonably high damage and allows you to lunge by pressing the reload key. Unlike the Tommy gun, it does not have any spread, so don't be afraid to pull it out in close range combat. Just like every other secondary weapon in the game, the jewel's alternate fire is a grapple.
I prefer the skills of the oratorical variety.
Cheston's shift skill is Exploding Barrel, which is exactly what it sounds like. You roll a flaming barrel forward that explodes on contact with enemies and walls. Upon exploding, the barrel does splash damage in a small radius and lights pros on fire. Leveling it up increases damage and reduces cooldown. If your barrel drops from a steep angle, it will explode on impact, so it's advantageous to use this skill from the high ground. Also, be careful when using your barrel on close targets, as you may end up getting caught in the blast radius. Cheston's Q is Roar. In typical guerrilla fashion, he beats his chest and lets out a battle cry that heals himself and teammates for half as much. It also gives everyone in its effective radius around 20% additional speed for a few seconds. Leveling Q increases amount healed and reduces the cooldown. You can use Roar to escape, chase pros, and sustain your health pool. Cheston's E is Rampage. He goes down on all fours and starts pounding the ground, heavily damaging and throwing all enemies away from him. It increases his base movement speed by roughly 50%, but Cheston is unable to use his skills or weapons for the duration of Rampage. If used mid-air, it gives a surge of speed called Rampage Jump. Keep in mind that using Rampage in the air drains the skill much faster than normal, so you'll only be able to Rampage Jump a couple of times in quick succession. Most players save Rampage for jumps, but it can be used to deal damage, trap a player in a corner, attempt to ring out, or knock enemy pros away from teammates. Leveling Rampage increases damage per tick and reduces the cooldown.
Ha! I feel like a girl in summertime.
Since all of Cheston's skills are very potent, there are a few ways you can level him depending on how you want to fight. The most common Cheston build prioritizes offense and barrel early. You roll out a spawn with offense, picking up a level of barrel at 2, allowing for 1 hit kills on slim bots for easier bot farming. Skipping level 3 to double up offense and barrel 3 at 4. At 5, grab a level in defense to beef up that health a bit. Level Roar at 6 to reduce his cooldown some. Again, you'll skip 7 to max offense and barrel at 8. Alternate Roar and defense from 9 to 12. Finally, leave Rampage for the later levels. This is a good starter Cheston build because it's very easy to execute. Just throw barrels, do lots of damage, use Roar and Rampage as your escape tools. If you're wanting to stay in lane as much as possible, a Roar build will give you great sustain. Begin with offense as usual to help you pick up a potential first blood. At 2, skill Roar to start reducing its cooldown and increases heal potency. For 3, grab a level in defense to up that health a tad. At 4, level offense again. Another in Roar at 5, and defense at 6. Save at 7 and max offense and Roar at 8. With Roar 4, you'll have very high sustain for mid-game because you'll be frequently healing yourself for a reasonable chunk of your health. Finish off defense at 9, then work on barrel from 10 to 12, and leaving Rampage again for the final levels. Take advantage of all the early levels in Roar and defense to stay in lane to tag every bot to build your level advantage. This build is more for a safer, passive, bot-killing style of play in the early to mid-game. The final build I recommend utilizes Cheston's close-range damage potential. As usual, start with offense first, pick up Rampage at 2, skip 3 and increase offense and Rampage at 4, defense at 5, and a roar at 6. Again, skip 7 to max Rampage and offense at 8. Level up another in roar at 9, grab defense at 10, and then max roar at 11. Finish off defense at 12, leaving barrel for 13 to 15. The key to using this skill order lies in comboing Family Jewel and Rampage. By quickly getting in a tick of Rampage damage during the animation of the back swing or second swing of the Family Jewel, you can deal immense DPS. However, I do not recommend this build to new players as it does require excellent awareness and timing to do it right. With all that said, it is important for you to realize that these skill builds are not set in stone. You can adjust them to your needs within each game. Sometimes you might want to forego an upgrade in one skill to level defense earlier than normal for added survivability, and that sort of thing is perfectly okay. If you're a newer player, you probably have all of the information you need to get started with playing Cheston. If you're an experienced player, continue watching because we're about to get to the good stuff.
Hold your fire! My assistant should be on the field somewhere with my low-fat zucchini muffin.
Just like the skill builds, you should endorse Cheston depending on your playstyle. In my experience, he benefits from any combination of the following stats: speed, skill recovery, fire rate, and critical damage. Speed is a very underrated endorsement as it enhances your pro both offensively and defensively. I find that the more I'm needing to carry my team, the more I feel the benefits of speed endorsements as they allow you to get around the map really quickly when you add roar, lunge, and rampage jump into the equation. If you're looking for a speed build, I'd recommend speed skill, speed fire rate, or speed critical damage. All of these are plenty viable. Also, the negative stat on speed is health, so be sure to stick to the mega speeds to minimize adverse effects. Skill recovery is nice, but it is a bit overrated in my opinion. Having your skills off cooldown 15% faster is definitely good, but the skills that matter the most for Cheston are his escape tools, Roar and Rampage, which are generally saved for when you really need them. My point here is that if you use your skills wisely, you may be better served by other endorsements. Fire rate is primarily for melee-centric Chestons using the Rampage skill build that we talked about earlier in the video. Max rate of fire will give a flat 10% DPS increase to your Family Jewel, which is nothing to scoff at. You won't notice an enormous difference in the Tommy gun since you'll be burst firing it more often than not, but when you do get a chance to lay on that mouse 1 on a gunner's face, you'll shred him even faster than normal. The negative stat on fire rate is accuracy, which, contrary to popular belief, has minimal effect on the Tommy gun. Trust me on this. Even if you have negative 25% accuracy, it only reduces the accuracy of the very first shot in each burst due to the unique nature of the Tommy gun. So you'll want to stack up on bacon level rate of fires for all the nice bonus stats. Critical damage is another underestimated stat that makes Cheston's crits do up to 25% additional damage but decrease base critical hit rate as a trade-off. Of course, crit damage complements any of the other 3 recommended endorsements extremely well. If you plan on running crit damage, be sure to make good use of your juices by critting pros with your Tommy gun cross-map to kill them.
I'd rather die 1,000 honorable deaths than win by cheating. Mudge.
While juiced, Spunky Jumpy allows you to jump the height of a small skyscraper. This is required as it is too good not to use on Cheston. It doubles as an offensive and defensive tool, giving you position to burst fire priority targets down with your Tommy gun crits. Not only will you be difficult to deal damage to while you're jumping, but you can also rampage jump to literally fly across the map in hilarious fashion. With Spunky Juicy, while juiced, you deal 140% damage. Notice I just said damage, meaning it applies to skills as well as weapons. Unfortunately, you'll need to reach level 15 to activate this product, but once you do, it gives you a hefty advantage over pros that don't have it. Be sure to try coupling Juicy with critical damage endorsements and watch your enemy pros melt before your eyes. The last product slot is a flavor choice to fit your skill and endorsement builds. If you have critical damage, you may want to run critically late to make up for the negative crit chance on your endorsements. Or, if you're going with the Roar sustainability build, you might consider Over Armor as it can build upwards of 2,000 armor late game and make you very tanky. If you hate dying, Cheston is the best pro in the game to use Death Dodger. When you reach relatively low health, hit yourself with your barrel to activate the death dodger, then roar to heal and run to safety until you port to spawn. Another great product is Massive Air, as it adds a great deal of aerial mobility. Bunny Hop and Strafe to frustrate sharpshooters and veterans trying to claw you. On occasion, you can even use it to avoid being wrung out. Lime Spunky is worth mentioning as well if you like to save your juices for clutch situations.
Feel the full measure of my wrath.
In order to play Cheston successfully, you will frequently need to properly combine all of his skills and weapons in quick succession. Now this is not always easy to do, but once you have mastered Cheston, you will become an unstoppable primate force on the field. Don't be afraid to mix it up with the enemy team. If they don't have their disables ready, rush in to kill their squishiest characters before the situation gets too sticky by using your combination of Roar, Rampage Jump, and Lunge to escape. Traverse the map with Lunge. It's on a 2-second cooldown for Enforcer, so you can use it liberally to travel quickly without wasting any of your skills. Keep in mind that lunging off of cliffs and jump pads increases distance traveled as well. Pretend like you're Donkey Kong and chuck barrels all day every day, since it's your best long-range harassment tool. When aiming a barrel, it's easier to hit a pro by going for the wall or an object he's next to rather than a direct hit. If you are going to go for a direct hit, throw it in the air so he doesn't have a chance to jump over it. Don't forget about your banana. Even a half-second stun gives you opportunities to follow up on, and of course, it can save your teammates from grapple damage. Again, let me repeat this for emphasis. Do not, I repeat, do not forget about your banana. It may seem like a minor ability, but it is arguably one of the most powerful alternate fires in the entire game. Your teammates will love you, of course, if you're constantly saving them with your banana mini-stuns. A more advanced banana tactic is the grapple cancel. Toss it a split second before you expect to be grappled. If timed properly, the enemy's grapple animation will break and actually go on cooldown, giving you ample chance to counter grapple or go to town on them with your family jewel. You can also use your banana to cancel skills that have a cast time, such as Gunner Slam or Combat Girl's Combat Laser. Use your family jewel when enemies are close and you're confident you won't be grappled. Additionally, it's a great bot killing weapon as it can cleave and hit multiple bots at once. If you're playing melee-centric Cheston, you need to have great timing and awareness. As I said earlier, the key lies in coupling Rampage and Family Jewel seamlessly for maximum damage. Family Jewel's animation consists of 2 slashes, and the second half of the animation always goes through, even if you cancel it. This is called the backswing. Using Rampage right after the first slash lets the second slash hit during the Rampage. Turning off Rampage and starting another slash lets you get more damage than only Rampage or only Family Jewel. You should be wary that using Rampage for damage leaves you without it to escape, and be aware that you can be grappled out of Rampage as well. It's tricky to pull this off, but when you're able to do it, you can definitely get some big plays. Don't underestimate the offensive uses of Rampage. Even if you don't have your Family Jewel out at the time, turning Rampage on and off can provide surprisingly powerful bursts of damage. If you can predict a charge type skill, use a tick of Rampage right before an enemy uses their charge, and sometimes you can ramp up their momentum and cause them to fly off the map. At which point, they'll probably rage at you in chat, but at least you're having fun, right? Recognize the weaknesses of Cheston, his lack of a ranged weapon. The only way he can do much damage from a distance is by landing his barrel. You should definitely consider leveling barrel on the maps where the points of conflict have long lines of sight, such as Grenade 3 and Downtown Spunky. As with all pros, remember to minimize the damage you do to yourself. Don't overextend too much, tag lots of bots, and try not to die. A Cheston with a level advantage can take on most pros head-on without much worry. Of course, that doesn't mean you shouldn't be going for some sneaky kills whenever the opportunity arises. Thanks for watching, guys, and please remember to like this guide if you found it helpful. Please feel free to leave me feedback in the comments section, and a big thanks goes out to Uber Entertainment for making Super Monday Night Combat. Until next time, this has been Sunny Dove. Take care.